Hello everyone and welcome back to the Belgian Beer Brothers channel. I'm Cedric here in Antwerp and today we are going to talk about another Belgian beer, a Christmas beer, this time brewed in beautiful Limburg, which is the southeast of the country. We are going to talk about Kompel Christmas, but first off let's talk about the brewery itself, because Kompel is a fairly young brewery and I got to know these guys when I went hiking in Limburg, in Genk, beautiful area of our country by the way, a lot of nature. And I went hiking with my girlfriend and we came across this terrace, a summer bar, and they had Kompel beers. I never heard of them. I think this was about 3 or 4 years ago, 3 years ago during the first lockdown. And so I ordered a Kompel Prion des Fleurs. Okay, very well. I tasted it. Beautiful beer, awesome. So ever since I've came across these guys and I've tried some more. So today is a first for me, the Kompel Christmas. Kompel is a brewery founded in 2015 by Sandro Di Pietro of Italian ascent and Frederik Fabri in Maasmechelen in Limburg. And Limburg is actually the miners region, well not only, but Maasmechelen and these guys are in the miners region, where between 1922 and 1987 in one particular mine, namely Asden, thousands of men worked up to 900 meters or almost 3,000 feet deep to bring up a total of 73 million tons of coal. And that is from this one mine alone. Now bear in mind that in Limburg there were 7 of these mines. They have huge mine shafts and currently there are some beautiful musea and sites dedicated to this. Like I said, I got to know this beer or this brewery in C Mine, which is in Genk. So bear in mind as well that these miners, and this beer is brewed in honor of these miners, through their hard work they brought the riches to Belgium and its inhabitants. And fun fact, or ironic fact actually, is that often these miners were foreigners themselves. Of course, there were Belgians working at the mines, but not that many, and mostly in higher positions. So the people that did work in the mines were mainly Italian, Turkish, Algerian, and so forth and so on. Today we can see that there is a huge Turkish community and a huge Italian community still based in Limburg. Of course, they stayed behind after their ancestors worked in the mines. Now, the namesake of this brewery and this beer is of course also coupled to those times. The beer is brewed in honor of the miners, but it's also named after the miners, because Kompel is actually a nickname for miners and it kind of means like mate or buddy. It is said to have come from the German Kumpel. My German isn't that great, so I can't give you any more background on that. So because in the mines safety is of the utmost importance, it's a top priority, difference would be put aside when entering the mine shafts. So below ground, every culture, every heritage, every sort and kind of people are actually the same. They would unite and set aside their differences just to get through the day on a safe and sound manner, and of course to get back up. Now that means that camaraderie and fraternity are key words and none would be excluded. Again, hence the name Kompel. This brewery also makes a fine gin, or 2 or 3 different kinds of gin, under the name Miner's Finest, which I kind of like. About the beer, as the name states, this is also a Christmas beer. Like I said yesterday, it is brewed for dark and moody periods, but also for festive times. So most often these beers contain some extra sugar, some extra spices, some herbs, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. They are quite heavy. Now, when we're talking about this beer, normally the Kompel beers have this tough looking miner with the helmet and the lights. Now they replaced the helmet with a Christmas hat. This is also a dark beer, an 8.5%, with undisclosed spices, but they do state that they add Lux syrup or sirop de Liège, which is, as the name says, syrup from Liège, the Walloon town. And this syrup is actually a very sugary, a syrup of apples or pears, mostly pears. And I do believe that there's a 4:1 ratio, so for every 100 grams of syrup they use 400 grams of fruit. So it's a quite dense syrup as well. Now first let me read this label, which is a surprise for me as well. Kompel Christmas is a dark beer of high fermentation, re-fermented in the bottle. Its full character features the essence of sirop de Liège and hints of clove and citrus. Okay, I like that they have some extra info on the label. Ingredients: water, malted barley, hop, spices, yeast and sirop de Liège. I am very curious. I also love this bottle cap. They even put the miner with the Christmas hat on the bottle cap. So let's have a taste. Unlike yesterday, this is a fresh beer. Best before date is in 2024, so but let's not wait. Oh wow. Actually, at first sniff, this smells like a heavy Pilsner. And I actually do smell that syrup. So it must be very strong. I'm not imagining this. It looks very dense. It's quite light in color, but pretty hazy as well. And I am a bit too enthusiastic because there is quite a bit of carbon dioxide in there. This is actually really crazy. I wouldn't have expected this, but I do smell like a strong Pilsner scent, and I do get that syrup through. So it's not really apple or pear, it's actually the syrup itself. So the sugary treat, and it's a rather dense beer, hazy as hell, but not too dark. It's a nice brown, typical brown ale. This reminds me of an unfiltered Scotch ale actually. Beautiful foam as well, some nice medium dense beige brown foam. Oh wow, this is an instant hit. It has a very full mouthfeel, but of course with a beer this hazy I wouldn't expect anything else. Of course when it's a Christmas beer or this heavy brown ale, dark ale. And it is indeed very sweet and spicy at the same time. So I'm not getting molasses here, I'm getting the syrup itself, as I stated like several times, but yeah, this is really, as the saying goes, sugar and spice, but it's really, really nice. I do get the clove. I think the citrusy part still has to hit me, but I think the citrus is more along the edges and more in the aftertaste. I get this kind of a zesty flavor, like a citrusy bitter like flavor, but because of the syrup and the spices here, I do get a lot of clove indeed, a bit of nutmeg even, but that makes that almost the entire aftertaste is bitterness, and I don't really get a malty flavor, although I do get a very full mouthfeel. So yeah, for me this is a surprising beer and a very nice surprise as well. Actually, look at that. How slowly it runs down. That's the sugar and the syrup talking. So I think that next to this 8.5% ABV, a lot of leftover sugars are in this beer, and yeah, even though it's not the sweetest, I think the bitterness and the spices actually mask a lot of the sweetness here. So I think this is a beautiful example of some specialty brewing. Yeah. So this is going right on the list of great winter brews. Alright, I can't tell you a lot more about this, except that this stew goes very well with stews and game, but I think I said that yesterday, and I think that's true for all or most of the winter beers, although we might have one or two surprises on our list this week. I think the Troubadour Winter is something else, and tomorrow we are going to talk about an Apfelstrudel beer. So I don't know what to expect from that. But apart from that, this goes great with pears and cranberry, especially with the syrup in there, with game, with stews, with heavy tastes, with what we call stoflies. So yeah, great for this period, this wintry, dark, moody period with the heavy foods and stoomp. So I'll leave you guys with that. As usual, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, let me know, hit the thumbs up, comment down below if you have any questions, any remarks, or any experiences you want to share. And if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notified. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with my Apfelstrudel beer. Cheers.